What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine, back with another video. Welcome to the full Pristine review for the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Let's jump right into this thing. Now, I'm going to start off by saying, I got to give a big shout out to Pixel. Shout out to the, man, hashtag Pixel, you know what I'm saying? Team Pixel, you know what I'm saying, all day. When this phone first came out, there's a lot of hype surrounding it. There's actually still a lot of hype surrounding this device. And, I was just like, this device just can't be as good as what people are saying it is. And, after using the phone since day one, I got this phone on launch day. Actually, a few days ago, I bought the Pixel 6 because I wanted to, test that out and see how good that was at a $599 price tag. Actually, I got that open box at Best Buy in excellent condition, so I got a little bit more of a discount. So I'm going to be talking about that in a separate video, and then I'll be, comparing both phones and whatnot. So make sure that you're subscribed, so you don't miss that. Hit your notification bell so you'll get notified when those videos drop. But yeah, man, I mean, this is really a phenomenal device. After using it for that first week, it just completely grows on you. And there's just little things about this device that it separates it from a lot of other Android devices. I've already tried to put this phone down a couple of times, because I've got other phones that I need to test and get reviews and stuff done on. And it was hard, taking my SIM card out of this phone and putting it in those phones because of how good this is. Like, if you're a stock Android enthusiast, for one, you're gonna love this device because it's stock Android at its purest form. It's running the latest software, Android 12. Samsung actually just rolled out Android 12 for their S21 lineup, and so I don't have my S21 anymore, but my wife has an S21, and she was just telling me earlier today that she got the update and she likes the way that things look. I guess it changes up the look a little bit. So I'm actually waiting for her to get home from work so I can check out her phone, and I'm probably going to do a video on that, just talking about just the changes and what type of enhancements you've got on the Samsung device. Android 12 comes baked in fresh out of the box with the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Which are the first devices to have Android 12, on board. So, yeah, let's just get into this thing now. First off, I go over the specs. One of the most important specs, obviously, being the price. Now, this is the 128 gig variant. The price for this phone is $899 for the 128 gig. 256 gig is $999. The 512 gig is $1,100. Now, here's the thing. I got this phone from AT&T. So if you get this device from AT&T, the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 6 Pro, Verizon and AT&T, they sell the sub 6 and the millimeter wave variant, which is what this is. And so the actual price for this one is $949.99. And so if you're wondering why, if you're buying the Pixel 6 Pro and you want to get the 128 gig variant and you're paying $950 as opposed to $899, it's because you've got the sub 6 and the millimeter wave variant. And what that is, that just helps with stronger 5G connection. When you're in 5G areas, you're going to have stronger connections, easier to pick up on, faster speeds. Like T-Mobile and other providers like that, they're only selling the sub 6 5G variant. Okay, so there's a $50 difference, between the sub 6 variant and the sub 6 and the millimeter wave variant, which is what this is. Okay, so just wanted to clear that up for those of you that are worrying or are wondering about, okay, well, why is this one a little bit more expensive when it's $899 everywhere else for the 128 gig variant? That's going to be the reason why. All right, now we've got a 6.7 inch Quad HD plus AMOLED 120 hertz HDR10 display. We've got a 19.5:9 aspect ratio, Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and back. We've got the Google Tensor 5 nanometer chipset. Now, this is Google's first chipset that they've put inside of the device. It's their own chipset that they've made, they've manufactured, slapped it in their device. Typically, they'll go the Snapdragon route. You know, they'll have, some of the latest Snapdragon processors. This time around, they decided to go with their own chipset, you know, kind of pulling an Apple move. You know, Apple, they make the A Bionic chipset. Well, now Google is making the Google Tensor chip. Okay. So we've got the Google Tensor chip inside. We've got a Mali G78 MP20 GPU, Android 12, 128 gigs of storage, 12 gigs of RAM. Okay, UFS 3.1. And then we also have that Titan M2 security co-processor. So, you know, in the Pixel 4, the 4 XL, the 4A, you know, the 5, the 5A, we had that Titan chip. Well, now we get the second generation Titan M chip. And so, you know, security is supposed to be even more advanced on these particular devices. You know, I mean, the devices, they seem pretty secure to me. I mean, I haven't seen anything additionally, you know, out of the ordinary, but I guess with that Titan 2 co-processor chip, it's you know, it's giving you added security just to make sure that your phone isn't getting infected with viruses and malware and all that kind of thing. And that's definitely what you want, right? You know, these are smartphones. They're like little mini computers that are in your pocket. We're web browsing all the time on the internet, searching for this and that. We want to make sure that everything is protected and that our devices don't get corrupted with all kinds of mess that's out there. Okay, so the Titan M2 security co-processor is also on board. Now, the build quality, as I mentioned, we've got Gorilla Glass 6 Victus, and this phone is crafted and made very beautifully. This is the cocaine white edition. You know, cloudy white is what Google pronounces it, but hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm from that 70s. I'm from 78, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the crack era, man. You know what I'm talking about? So if I see something white, I'm like, man, that's cocaine white, man. But, yeah. Oh, man, I killed myself, man. I'll be having fun with this thing, y'all. Don't mind me, man. Don't mind me. But, yeah, the construction is beautiful. Now, I've seen this before, right? I feel like, you know, this particular form factor, you know, as far as, you know, the build, I mean, it's got some heft. You know, I mean, this phone is built with nothing but premium materials. I mean, again, you got Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and back. You've got aluminum rails around the sides, you know, that are holding this thing together. The phone feels solid, right? And it's a little bit wide. It's wide as well. I mean, it's a little bit wider than some of your you know, other conventional phones. I mean, a lot of phones are big, they're tall, but they're not really all that wide. But this phone, I don't know, for some reason it just feels wide to me. And that's not a determining factor. I'm just saying, for somebody that has small hands, I can see how, you know, somebody may feel as though, you know, wielding this phone with one hand can become cumbersome at some point, if it isn't already off top once you get it in your hand. Now, me, I'm used to, you know, holding bigger phones. I mean, so it's not really a big deal to me, but I can definitely, you know, understand, you know, why somebody may be like, man, you know, this, I mean, again, it's a 6.7 inch display. I mean, so, you know, the phone is big, but here's another one of the things that I like, you know, as far as the cosmetics, you know, I like how, you know, the phone, it has that waterfall display. Like, you can see the display, it bleeds over the right and the left side of the device. And I know that some people they don't like that. They slam that, you know. And then, you know, you've got your the Pixel 6 here, which, well, I've got my case on it, but it doesn't do that. It's got a flat display. And, you know, I mean, if you're not really a big fan of the waterfall displays, that's what it's called, you know, when the screen just kind of bleeds over the left and the right side. If you're not really a fan of that, then I would say just go with the Pixel 6, because the Pixel 6, it has a flat display. I mean, it's curved around the edges, the phone is, as far as its ergonomics, but the screen is flat and it stops right at the edges. Matter of fact, I mean, you could see the bezel where the screen stops. And you can see the difference here on the Pixel 6 Pro, where it bleeds over the side, as opposed to, you can see where it stops right at the bezel, okay, on the Pixel 6. So, you know, but me, I mean, again, I've seen this before. I've seen this, one of the most recent devices that I've had was the Moto Edge 2020 and the Moto Edge Plus. Huge fan, you know, of those devices. You know, matter of fact, last week, you know, if you haven't checked it out, I dropped a video of the Moto Edge 2021. And so, I'm going to have the full Pristine review coming on that as well. And I know that at the time when I posted that video, I was saying that phone, could potentially contend with this. And I'm not sure if I still believe that, after some additional, much more involved usage with the 6 Pro here, because this phone is just an absolute monster. So I mean, as far as how the phone is constructed, I love this build. Now you definitely want to keep a screen protector on this thing to protect your investment. I understand that it's Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, but please, ladies and gentlemen, Victus doesn't mean shatterproof or shatter resistant. You know what I mean? This is still glass. If you drop it from a great enough distance, it's gonna crack. And I mean, imagine this: as beautiful as this phone is, with just a massive crack on it, right? Not attractive at all. And I just love the cosmetic build of this device and just how it looks. Look at this thing. Like, there's no other device out there that looks like this phone. And so I can appreciate Google switching it up. And that's one of the main things that I get kind of bored with these candy bar style devices, right? It's like they all look the same. There's not really too many noticeable differences, between them. Like, if you see this somewhere, you're gonna be like, oh man, that's that Pixel 6 right there. That's that. I mean, there's no mistaking this for anything else that's out there on the market. I mean, just from how the cameras, are. I mean, really, that's the main thing that sets it off. There's no mistaking. And the camera hump, it protrudes a bit. I mean, it's not too cumbersome. I've got a Google branded case that when you slap the case on this bad boy, there's a lip that protects the camera hump. I mean, so when the phone is sitting down on a flat surface like so, it's not sitting directly on the camera lenses or the glass that protects the camera lenses. All right. But, I'm also a fan of this orientation too, because even if the phone is not in a case, or when it is in a case, the phone, it kind of sits up at a tilt. It's not rocking. When you touch the sides, when it is sitting on a flat surface, it's not rocking at all, right? Some phones, it rocks a little bit just because the camera hump is either on the right side or the left side of the device. This device, it's just all across the back. You know what I mean? So when you sit it up, then it's just kind of sitting, at a tilt as opposed to just flat on, the surface that you have it sitting on. And so, I got to say, the build quality for this thing, the build quality gets an A+ for me, man. The build quality is super solid on the Pixel 6 Pro, right? Now, let's move along. Now, performance. Again, we've got, I was super excited to really test this phone, because I'm like, okay, Tensor. I'm so used to Snapdragon processors being in these devices, but I'm like, okay, Google, they made Tensor. Okay, what's this thing gonna do? How's the performance gonna be? How's the battery life gonna be? You know what I'm saying? And like I suspected that it would, this phone is just an absolute monster. Okay, now again, this is a 120 hertz display, and depending on what you're doing, it's not always at 120 hertz. It just depends on what you're doing, right? So it scales down, you know what I mean, and it scales up based on what the phone recognizes that you're doing. And it's interesting because I know that there's tons of phones out there that is said to learn your usage patterns. A lot of things on a lot of phones work well, and they're super responsive to what you do, when you're trying to do whatever it is that you're doing. So I can't say that it's actually learning my usage pattern, as opposed to it just performing well with what I want it to do at that particular point. But the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro, it really does learn your usage patterns, and it kind of, it can, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of little things about this device that is kind of like, how does it do this? It's interesting, but it's just, again, a testament to how far technology has come, right? So, I mean, again, the display, scrolling back and forth, beautiful. Scrolling the apps, super responsive. I mean, very faint touches. I mean, it is just super, super, super responsive, okay? And this is how it's been all the time since day one, when I took this thing out of the box and first got it set up. Now, I'm just going to go into some apps. I'm a music junkie. You guys already know, man. Pop into Spotify. I've got thousands of playlists. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just let alone just all the albums and things that I got on here. I've got like over 1,050 different playlists that I've created. You know what I mean? From the first time that I started up Spotify, which was years ago, on up to this point. What's today? The 20th of November? Yeah, it's November 20th today, Saturday. And so, you know, I mean, man, I've got, and you saw just how it just went right into Spotify without a hiccup. YouTube Music, same thing. I got a lot of stuff here on YouTube Music. All right, you see how it just popped right into YouTube Music with no delay. Let's go shopping real quick. Pop into Amazon real quick. You know, see what's popping on Amazon. You know, spending a little money. You know what I'm talking about? All right, look, let's go on over to Best Buy real quick. You know, see what's popping over at Best Buy. What kind? You know, they always got deals. And you know, we got Black Friday coming up this week. So hey, man, I mean, there are gonna be all kind of deals out there. You know, let's go car shopping. Let's go to Car Gurus and see what's popping. You know what I'm saying? Nope, skip that. Okay, and you know, it just gets right into that with no problems at all whatsoever. As I mentioned, 12 gigs of RAM. I mean, so everything just gets held very well in the RAM. If I want to go back to YouTube Music, it does so without any having to reload the page or anything preposterous like that. If I want to go back to Amazon, I can go back to Amazon. You know, if I want to go back to where's Spotify? If I'm gonna go back to Spotify, boom, there it is right there. Just held in the RAM beautifully. You know, it doesn't have to reload the page. If I want to go back to Car Gurus, there it is, right? Like no reloading. You know, it holds everything in the RAM, and you know, everything is solid. Boom, hit clear all that out. Man, you got action. You know what I'm saying? Back to the home screen. Okay, so you know, this phone, it just performs very, very well. Super duper impressed with the Tensor chip. Again, being that this is Google's first processor, sometimes, you know, there can be problems, you know, but I've yet to see any problems. This phone has already gotten a couple of updates, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, these were like, you know, bug fixes and so forth. I mean, so, you know, it's good to see that those things are coming. Again, this is a Pixel, so you already know that it's going to get all the latest software updates right when they release without delay. I mean, so, you know, you're going to be good there. Man, I mean, this phone just performs beautifully. I've got absolutely no qualms at all with the performance. Now, camera. Now, this is a major upgrade with the camera, because this is the first Pixel device in a long time where we actually have new camera sensors. Now, Google, you know, they're so advanced. With the same sensor year in and year out, they've been able to increase image quality and image processing through machine learning and software, right? But maintaining the same lenses, right? Well, this year around, you know, we got some new lenses, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So on the front, on the selfie camera here, we've got an 11.1 megapixel sensor. Okay, this is an f2.2 millimeter ultra wide sensor with a micron pixel of 1.22. All right, now on the rear, we've got 3 camera sensors, and this is one of the things that will differentiate between the Pixel 6, right? Because on the Pixel 6 Pro, we've got 3 camera lenses, and on the Pixel 6, we've got 2. Okay, so we've got the primary 50 megapixel sensor. This is a 26 millimeter wide lens, okay, with omnidirectional PDAF, laser autofocus, and optical image stabilization. Now, we've got a 48 megapixel f3.5 aperture, 104 millimeter telephoto lens, also featuring PDAF optical image stabilization and 4 times optical zoom. Now, that 48 megapixel telephoto lens, it's what's missing here on the Pixel 6, okay? And then we've got a 12 megapixel 114 degree ultra wide sensor. So the Pixel 6 has the 50 megapixel standard primary lens, the 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, but it's missing the 48 megapixel telephoto lens. Now, to some of you, that may be a big deal. Others, not really so much. Also, like I mentioned, I mean, the selfie camera is an 11.1 megapixel sensor. On the Pixel 6 here, we just got an 8 megapixel selfie sensor. So, I'm going to be doing some camera comparisons, because I want to see, you know, is the 11.1 megapixel sensor that much better than the 8 megapixel sensor that's on the Pixel 6? Things that make me go, you know. But You know, I know that there's a lot of Apple, you know, fanboys and fangirls out there. And, you know, shout out to Apple. You know what I'm saying? I got my 13 Pro right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, I'm on board. You know, stay tuned because I got my full Pristine review coming on that as well. Man, you're talking about some serious camera battles right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I think these have to be two of the best cameras in the game right now. In the game. I mean, which one of these is number one? I don't know. But I know that we've got the number one and the number two device right here as far as cameras on any smartphone right now on planet Earth. Period. I'll probably say if it was up to me, the Pixel's number one, the iPhone is number two. Some of you guys may disagree with that, you know what I'm saying? Because I know there's a lot of, you know, iPhone, you know, fanboys and girls out there. But man, hey, this camera on this Pixel is no joke. And you think I'm lying? Just go down into your description box where the timestamps are, click on camera, and it's going to take you right to the end of the video where I show still shot images and video recording. And the video recording on this device has gotten a lot better as well. That's actually been one of the main indictments with Pixel cameras. Like, they have excellent still shot imagery, photography, but then a lot of people just cock over and take a dump on their camera, on the recording features. Now, the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 5, I thought that the recording was solid. I don't think it had 4K recording, but I mean, even at 1080p, it had, you know, the stabilization was on point, but a lot of people just seem to really trash Pixel's recording as of late until the Pixel 6 came out. But I mean, in my personal opinion, you know, the recording feature has always been solid. And to me, again, I'm no camera guru, so it's like I'm not really familiar with all the lingo and all the camera verbiage or whatnot. I'm just like, yo, I'm just a straight shooter, man. I point, I shoot, and based on what I'm seeing with my own eyes, I can determine whether or not that's a good photo or not a good photo. It's like I don't really know too much about, oh man, the shadows and it's blown out or it's washed out. Man, I'm like, yo, either that's a good photo or it's an okay photo or it's a trash photo, period. That's how I rank them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying the images that I've took with this device and this device and this device, serious cameras. But I feel like if I had to choose between one of these, I'm walking away with that Pixel, man, every time, man. I'm walking away with the Pixel every time. You know, both of these phones are going to be super reliable in the camera department. But I mean, like I said, if I had to choose one, you know, fortunately enough for me, I've got the 13 Pro in my left pocket and the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 6 Pro in the right pocket. I mean, so it's like I got action. Whatever, however you want to do it, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, a lot of people ain't walking around with two phones, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to make a decision, you know? So I'm just saying, if camera quality is the determining factor, and you're not really all that, you're not tripping over what operating system, then man, the Pixel 6 Pro is the way to go. Hashtag bars, you know what I'm talking about? Pixel 6 Pro, man, the way to go. Okay. All right. Let's jump back into this thing, man. Yeah. Okay, now, battery life. I have to sing it to you, baby. Yeah. Battery life, we've got a 5,003 milliamp hour non-removable battery. Now, how's battery life on the Pixel 6 Pro? I'm going to keep it honest with you guys. It's solid. Okay, now there's some devices out there that have great, excellent battery life. I'm going to just say that this battery life is solid. Okay, I can easily get through a full day, but my experience with the phone is every night I had to put it on the charger. You know what I'm saying? You know, every night, you know, I would be at, well, you know, I guess that's good. You know, I'd be at like maybe, you know, 35, 30%. I think the lowest that I've seen it get was like 15%. You know what I'm saying? After just a full day of just, you know, working, you know, for 8 hours and then running a bunch of errands, you just on the internet, texting, you know, phone calls, checking my emails, you know, watching a few YouTube videos. I mean, just really putting the phone through its paces. But I mean, I have noticed that by the end of the day, you know, the phone does need to be charged. And again, this is a Quad HD panel, you know, that this battery is having to power. I have always on display on all day. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next segment, which is additional features and just some of the things that I like most about this device. So I feel like there's reasons why, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the battery drains so quickly throughout the day, but I know for a fact that I can do my own optimizing, and I can, turn some things down or turn some things off that may help extend my battery life. But a lot of times, when you're paying this kind of money for a device, you just want to rock out with certain things just on all the time, or max brightness or whatever, just whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't always want to have to, dumb the device down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just for battery sustainability. You want to be able to use it to its full capacity, however you want to use it, you know what I'm saying? And still know that you're good on the battery, right? Now, I do like the fact that we have fast charging. There's a 30-watt fast charger that you can buy. Now, here's another thing that I don't like. The fast charger does not come in the box. Okay, it is a separate accessory. That is BS, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a trend that we're starting to see with a lot of different OEMs. Apple started, Apple damn you. Okay, then Samsung ensued. Okay, now Google is doing it. I spent I spent $1,651.84 on my Surface Duo 2. I paid cash for that joint. Okay, no charger in the box. Now I still have my Surface Duo, and so luckily for me, well, I don't want to say luckily for me, because I've got an Anchor fast charger that has like a bunch of different ports, Type C, Type A. You know what I'm saying? So I can a lot of times I don't even take the charging brick out of the box, because I got my own charging brick to charge these devices. But still, it's just just like Big Worm said in Friday, man. You know what I'm saying? It's about the principalities. You know what I'm saying? It's just the principles of the situation. If you're paying that kind of money, man, put everything in the box that you know that people are going to need in order to be able to use their device. All this nonsense about being this separate accessory that needs to be purchased. I mean, for Christ's sake, you just spent almost $1,700 on a device, and I gotta go buy a charger. And I'm talking about the Surface Duo 2. But even with this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you spend your $899 plus taxes, or in my case, $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Because I live in Seattle, and taxes are 9.5%. And so something that costs $950, you know what I'm saying? I mean, taxes are right around, between $45 and $50. I mean, so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I paid $1,000 for this phone. You know what I'm saying? And to not get a charger, to have to go out and buy the additional fast 30-watt charger, when you got phones like the ZTE Axon 30 Ultra and the ZTE Axon 30 5G that come with the 65-watt charger, both of them, and they're actually cheaper than these. I just said something. You know what I'm saying? Man, killing us with this stuff, man. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but all this, we got to save the economy. Okay, so what you're saying is you save the economy by just bending over and no Vaseline raping your consumers, the people that like your products. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, man. That's no Vaseline penetration raping right there, man. You know what I'm saying? And, man, my bad. I ain't trying to be vulgar, man. Pardon me, you know what I'm saying? If there's any children, you know what I'm saying, watching this video, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said children, baby. I didn't say children. I said children. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I'm a city slicker, because I live in Seattle, Washington, born and raised, but all my family's from Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to the A. You know what I'm talking about? And all my family members, most of them, they sound just like they just got up here. Heavy accents, you know what I'm saying? And so you guys be wondering, like, man, why he be talking like that sometimes, man? Who he think he is? He ain't from the South. Nah, I'm raised by nothing but Southerners. You know what I'm saying? And so I got that twang. I know how to talk that talk, little baby. You know what I'm talking about? So, man, yeah, they just kill us with that type of stuff. But anyway, with the fast charger that you're going to have to buy, Google is claiming that you're going to get 50% in 30 minutes. Now, again, I'm charging with my Anchor, my own personal fast charger, and I'm not getting, it actually takes it takes a while to charge. It almost takes an hour to charge this phone up completely. But I mean, if you get the fast wireless charger, that Google provides, then what Google is claiming is that you're going to get 50% in 30 minutes. Okay, so I can't really speak to how true that is because I don't have the thing, and I'm not exactly sure how much it costs. I'm thinking maybe somewhere around maybe 30 or 40 bucks. But again, I mean, I caution you, if you decide that you want to go and buy this device, then you got to know that the charging brick is not going to come with it, and that's going to be some extra money that you're going to have to spend, on top of the $1,000 that you just spent or close to it for the actual device, which I think is just pathetic. But this phone, it does have all the bells and whistles. It's got wireless charging. You can get, it's got fast wireless charging at 23 watts. It's got reverse wireless charging. I mean, so say if you've got like a pair of earbuds or something like that and the battery's getting low, I mean, you can turn on the reverse power share feature under settings, and you can set your earbud case on the back of this box, and the phone is going to charge it. Like, I've never had to use anything like that, but I guess that could be cool and convenient for people that just like to rock out. They got their earbuds in their ear all day. Battery goes dead a little bit. They need a quick charge up or whatever. And it's not going to be the fastest charge up. Okay, so I want you guys to be mindful of that too. When you're using reverse power share, it's not going to charge your earbuds, or you can also charge your smartwatch. It's just basically your phone is acting as like a Qi enabled wireless charging device for either your smartwatch or your earbuds or whatever you got, as long as they can be wirelessly charged. Okay, but it's not super fast. Okay, so I just want you to be mindful of that. We got USB power delivery 3.0. Obviously, we've got a USB Type-C port here on the bottom. So yeah, I mean, battery life has been solid for me. Now, we'll switch on over to the additional features. And since I'm talking about battery, one of the things that I think will help extend this battery life is the always on display, right? Now, I love the fact that this phone has always on display, but what I don't really care too much for is you cannot you can't set the always on display to come on at certain times, right? Like other devices that I've had that feature always on display, it'll give you the option to turn it on and leave it on all day. It'll give you the option to have it off, and then you can just tap the screen, and then the always on display will start to show, meaning the time, the date, any notifications that you may have. And then it'll also give you the option to set a time frame as to when you want always on display to come on and to go off. And so a lot of times during the day, I've got my smartwatch on, and so it's like I don't really need always on display on, right? I mean, if I want to check the time and notifications, I can just look down at my wrist. And so usually what I'll do is I have always on display set to come on at 7 p.m. and then I have it set to go off at 7 a.m. because 7 p.m. is just, I'm home, I'm winding down, I'm taking my smartwatch off, I'm, kicking my feet up or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And so then at that point, I'll be more inclined to want to look over at my phone and check the time, or if I got a notification, I could just peek over at the display and just see what that notification is and decide whether or not I actually want to entertain that notification at that point, right? Stuff like that. The Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro does not give you that ability to do that. It has always on display, as you guys can see right now. Wow, you see the time, the date, you see the weather information, and yes, I've got some notifications. You got the battery percentage right there down there at the bottom, which I'm really a fan of, right? I really like not having to touch the phone at all just to check my battery life. But the thing that sucks about it is it's either you turn it on and it's on all day, or you turn it off. Like there's no way under the settings where you can schedule the always on display to come on. Either it's on or off. And it specifically says when you turn it on, it's going to send you a prompt right then and there that, hey, if you elect to have always on display on all the time, it's going to drain your battery. And again, the battery is already having to power this Quad HD panel. And this is a big 6.7-inch display, and this is an AMOLED display as well. I mean, so, just with the display resolution, that's already going to take up battery, especially if you're rocking it at like higher brightness levels. The battery's already got its work cut out for it. Now, that Google Tensor chip, it's got some battery. It's optimized a bit to handle these things. But like I said, you run the risk if you have always on display on all day, like I do, to minimize your battery life. And so I know for a fact, if I turn that off, that I'm probably going to get better battery sustainability. But again, because of the fact that I'm not able to schedule it, I just leave it on and I just, suffer in silence, I guess. But luckily for me, I've never been in a situation where I really needed that additional battery sustainability and just the battery was just dying and I was just looking for a charger or whatever. Usually at the end of the day, like I said, I'll be around like 25-30%, somewhere around there, and then I'll put it on the charger. But some of you guys may say, oh well man, 25-30%, that's still good. Yeah, but I'm thinking with a big 503 milliamp hour battery, I should be able to go like a day and a half, possibly closer to 2 days, depending on usage. The reason why I put it on the charger at night, even though it's still at 25 or 30%, is because I know that it's not going to get me through the next day. You know what I'm saying? So I have to put it on the charger to make sure that when I get up in the morning, it's at 100, and then I can pull it off the charger and I can go about my day and not have to worry about my battery life. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so that's with always on display. But again, it is one of the most liked features that I like about this device. Now, Google, when they say smartphone, they really took this thing up a notch. And, there's things about this phone that it does that I didn't even know that I would like or enjoy, because I certainly didn't ask for a lot of the things that this phone does. But when it does a lot of these little things and you get accustomed to those things, then it's just like, putting this phone down and trying to pick up another Android device that isn't able to do what the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 6 Pro can't do. It's very hard to use those devices. Like I said, I've got several other devices that I need to test and review. And the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro has made that process kind of painful, because I've gotten so accustomed to what the Pixel 6 Pro offers. And then, like I said, when you use another Android device that isn't offering what the Pixel 6 Pro is offering, then it's just like, man, I got to get my SIM card out of this Android device and get it right back into this Pixel 6 Pro. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just be honest. As far as Android, the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro is the way to go. There's no better Android device out right now on the market. And you also got to think as far as price. They're also priced very competitively. They're killing the competition, except ZTE, because ZTE has the ZTE Axon 30 Ultra 5G. That phone is $750 flat, no taxes. You can go to ZTE's website right now. And on top of that, I got an email earlier today. They got Black Friday prices that are going on. So you'll probably be able to get that Pro device for even cheaper than $750. You know what I mean? And it's coming with the 65-watt charging brick in the box. It's coming with a case. It's coming with everything that you need. Okay? But man, yeah, so some other things that I like about, at a glance. At a glance is, to me, one of the dopest features that is on a device. And I know that this has been on other Pixel devices. This isn't anything new to Pixel, but there's no other Android device that I know of that has this feature. What is at a glance? At a glance is, say if you're in a coffee shop, say you're down at your local Starbucks, and you got your computer set up, you're doing some work, you're on some spreadsheets or whatever, you're just browsing, and you got your new shiny Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 Pro sitting right next to your computer, and Starbucks, they got speakers all over the place and they be playing, little music or whatever. Now say, it's the holiday season. So let's just say they got some Christmas music going on, right? A lot of stores that you're going to go to from here on through Christmas, they're going to be playing Christmas music. So let's just say a Christmas tune comes on that you're really feeling, but you don't know the artist, you don't know the name of the song, you don't know what album this is on. Well, what At a Glance does, and this is actually kind of trippy because the phone is always listening, and I know that I talked about that in previous Pixel device reviews that I've done, is I'm not sure how comfortable with the fact that this phone is always listening, because it's like, what exactly is it listening to? Is it ear hustling on my conversations? You know what I'm saying? But this phone is always listening. And so what At a Glance does is, if the phone picks up music, just on the bottom of the display right here between the fingerprint sensor and the battery percentage, it's going to show the name of the song. It's going to show the artist. It's going to show the album where you can go and get that song. And you can even set it up in the settings to where it will keep track of all the songs that popped up under At a Glance. So say if you forget, if you just look down and you saw a song and then maybe, you were busy at the time, so you couldn't really entertain it at the time. But then say an hour or two went by and you were like, man, I didn't get an opportunity to write the name of that song down. You can go in the settings under At a Glance, and it will show you every song that it showed you. So it keeps a record of the song so that you can always go back and look at what those things are, and you can pull them up on Prime Music, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, whatever your music platform is, Pandora, however you rocking, and then you can add that song to your playlist. Now, me, I'm a huge music buff. Like, I'm an audiophile, big time. I mean, so that feature is that is, man, that goes hard for me. I work in an OR. We got Bluetooth speakers in every one of the operating rooms. And, while I'm in these rooms, I work in anesthesia. I'm in these rooms all day. And a lot of times we're playing cuts. Believe it or not, those of you that don't really work in an OR or never have, yeah, we get down. You know what I'm saying? We're doing surgery and we're making sure that the patient is nice and safe. But, man, during them procedures, man, we bumping cuts. And a lot of people, play their playlist and songs come on that I've never really heard before. And all I got to do is just look down at my phone, and at a glance it's telling me the name, the artist, the album. Cool. Boom. Got it. Now it's in my playlist. That to me is a super, super thoughtful feature. Another thing that I like is what they've done with these. I know a lot. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that I absolutely hate when I call a company, right, and you get the automated system. It's like all I want to do is just talk to a live agent say if I call AT&T or if I call Verizon or if I call T-Mobile, right? You get that automated system or whatever, and then, obviously you're sitting there listening until it prompts you to press this button or press that button. Well, what the Pixel 6 and what the Pixel 6 Pro does is it recognizes when you're calling a company that has an automated system. And so rather than sitting there on hold, basically everything that the automated system says, the Google Pixel 6 Pro transcribes it on the display. So it's like if you don't want to hear that irritating robotic voice talking to you, all you got to do is just read the transcription on the display, and you'll know exactly when to push a button to either get connected to a live agent or get connected to whatever option that it's offering. That to me is super, super dope, because I'm like, a lot of times I don't want to hear this damn thing. I just want to talk to a live agent. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's super innovative that Google would implement something like that. And it's crazy how it works, because a lot of times you don't even know that it's on. It's on by default. But it's like I call businesses all the time. And so a lot of times when a business, like I hit the call button and I'm expecting to hear that automated system, and I'll hear it because I keep a Bluetooth in my ear, but then I'll look down at my phone and I'm like, oh, what's going on with my phone? And it's transcribing everything that the automated system is saying, which means that I can take my Bluetooth out of my ear, and I don't have to listen to that irritating robotic sound, that voice. And all I got to do is just read the phone, because everything is transcribed on the screen, and I'll know exactly when to push a button to get me to the live agent, or if I need to push a button to go to this feature or that feature. Like that you're talking about a smartphone. Like, this phone is smart. Like, it's smarter than any other smartphone that I've ever messed with. Like, his phone is it's insane how smart this phone is. And I guess what Google is claiming, with the ability for it to, recognize, how you use your device over the course of time. I mean, the experience is only going to get better and better and better. Now, here's one of the things that I don't like about the device, right? Text messaging. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the text messaging, it's the messaging app, the standard messaging app for Google. I don't have a problem with that. But where the issue lies is I send a lot of voice text. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the bottom of this device, it has dual stereo speakers. So we got a speaker here up top, and then we got a speaker here on the bottom, right? Now, on the left side right here, if this isn't another speaker, which it isn't, a lot of times this is a noise canceling microphone. Well, I don't really know what this is, because a lot of times, like when I'm sending voice text, like here, I'll display it here for you real quick. Hold up a second. 1 second. Let me see. Okay, so this is just a message that I don't really care about from AT&T. So to send a voice text, what you do is you see the little microphone button right there. You hold down on that, and you see it's recording. You see the timer, and then it says slide to cancel. Okay, now look. My boys and I, we talk all day, every day through a group text. And we be having full-on conversations through text messaging. And I've already voiced that I can't stand that, because I just feel like there's certain things that need to be said. We need to be talking to one another. We need to get together on like a conference call or something like that. But, my boy down in California, he just insists on having these long, drawn out conversations through text message. Well, who wants to spend all day just doing this motion? Like, I can get carpal tunnel doing that, right? So I'm just like, yo, what I'll do is I'll just hold the microphone down and I can talk into usually there's a microphone that's on the bottom of the device. I'll talk into that, okay? And then you hear that little sound that indicates that when you lift your finger off of the little microphone icon, that's an indication that it picked up your voice text, and all I got to do is hit send. And then, as opposed to my boys reading something that I texted to them, they can listen to it. And they can respond how they want to respond. Either they'll respond by sending me a voice text back, or they'll respond by just, typing a conventional text message. Well, I realized that this isn't a microphone. And usually on every other Android device where I use voice text, which is all of them, there's always a microphone down here on the bottom so that my voice sounds crystal clear to my boys as they're listening to my voice text. But that's not the situation here on the Pixel 6. So what the issue is, the microphone is right here at the top. You see that little dot right there? A lot of you guys think that that's a noise canceling mic. Well, I guess it is. But it's also the microphone that you need to be talking into as well if you're sending voice text, which is super awkward. And so when I first found out about it, I was just, sending voice text how I normally do, holding the phone just like this. And then I'll make sure that my mouth was talking, toward the mic, because I thought this was the microphone right here. And then my boys was like, dude, we can't even hear what you're saying. Like, we can hear your voice, but we can't make out what you're saying. And so I can listen to the voice text. And I was like, yeah, I sound like really far away from the microphone. And so I'm like, well, where the hell is the mic? And so what I did was I had to like finagle the phone very awkwardly. And, then at that point, it became a two-handed operation, because I'm having to hold the phone like this, and then hold down on the microphone, and then talking to this microphone right here. And then I listened to it before I sent it to my boys, and sure enough, my voice was crystal clear. Now, when I first found that out, I went on Twitter and I blasted this phone on Twitter, because that may not be a big deal to you, but it's like, we all have like different things about different phones that are major to us or minor to us. Just like to me, a phone being water resistant, that's not a big deal to me. Like, I'm from the 70s, you know what I'm saying? I'm a 78 baby. I was always taught that you don't put your electronics anywhere near water. And so even though we're in a day and age now where a lot of these phones are like water resistant and dust and sand resistant, I ain't taking my phone in no water. I ain't taking it in no sand and dust. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already been mentally implanted in my brain that electronics and water just don't go. So even though it has the capability to do it, I ain't getting my phone wet. But for some of you guys, as you've stated in the comments, an IP rating is huge for you. And some of you guys may be like, Pristine, man, how is that not a viable feature, bro? You live in Seattle, Washington, where it's always raining. True that, but bro, I stay with an umbrella everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no thing to me, man. My phones ain't getting wet. Period. So I say that to say, this may not be a big deal to you, but it's a major deal to me, because I use this feature all the time. And so basically what you're doing is you're taking a seamless experience, a one-handed experience, just holding that little button down and talking into the microphone and hitting send. Now I have to, twist the phone differently. And then again, it goes from a one-handed operation to a two-handed operation. Now I got to hold the phone like this, make sure that my finger is on the microphone. A lot of times I get frustrated because my finger slips off the microphone, because I have to position the phone to make sure that I'm talking into the mic. Like, I don't know how Google just, they fumbled on that one. Like, they fumbled the ball on that one. And, when I first got this phone, when I found out about that, I was still, testing the phone. The phone hadn't quite captivated me like it has now, because I've had it for longer and I've used it. And so I really can see what the Pixel is about. But when I found out about that, I took to Twitter immediately and I blasted this device. And really after that, I was like, man, I can't wait to get home, man. I'm popping my SIM card out of this joint and I'm putting it back in this phone or that phone, because that's a very important feature to me. I voice text all day, every day sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like if you're complicating that experience for me, then I don't care how good the phone is. I'm an unhappy camper. But there are so many positive things about this device. Even though that is serious to me, I still can overlook it just because everything else is near flawless. I gotta be honest with you. Everything else is near flawless. And this Android 12, I love Android 12. Just the way that it looks, the look that it gives the phone. I like the fact too that when you go in the wallpaper and styles, you can hit change wallpaper, and whatever wallpaper you pick, right? The phone, it's gonna change the theme of the phone. It's gonna change the colors. So you see how like all my little notification thingies, they're like that purplish color. Like other phones that have customizable options for you to like, do different icons and different colors and shapes and so forth. This does all that for you just by simply changing the color of the wallpaper. So it's like when you change the color of the wallpaper, it basically creates the same color theme across the whole device. Like that is nuts. But it's beautiful. And it's like, you hold down on the home screen, go to wallpaper and style, and every single one of these wallpapers that I can choose from, and there's a bunch of different categories. Whatever you choose, if I choose this one, look at this, and then you can preview it as well. So look, you can home screen. It's going to show you what the lock screen looks like. If you want to expand the display to see what it looks like, just without everything on the display. If you want to hide the UI preview, you can do that just to see what the wallpaper looks like. And then if you like it, you can hit set wallpaper. It's going to ask you for the home screen, lock screen, or home and lock screen. You hit home and lock screen, and boom. And now that's the color of my device. So when I swipe down for notifications, it's got like that little pinkish color. I mean, it's just dope. Like I I like the fact that it creates, different themes based on the wallpaper, right? And so, at first I was kind of going back and forth with this wallpaper right here just because there's some pink in it. You know what I'm saying? No diss to any of y'all that like pink, you know what I'm saying, and a little purple or whatnot. Not necessarily my speed, but it looks dope. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just, for the sake of the video, I'm going to go back to that. I wanted to showcase this display because, I'm all black, everything, no racist. I got to, my wallpapers is all black. You know what I'm saying? It's blacked out. It's murdered out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and hit check, home and lock screen and go back to that. Look, beautiful. Beautiful. And so, those are some of, the things that I like. Oh, another thing too. So to take a screenshot, they got it set up to where you can just, and I think they tore a page out of Apple's playbook with this, because on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max, or all of them, all the iPhone 13s, from the iPhone 13 mini all the way up to the Pro Max. If you didn't know, you can set it up to where you could tap the back of the iPhone 3 times and it takes a screenshot. Ah, you didn't know that, did you? Okay, well now you learn something. You learn something new every day. Well, with the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro, they got it set up to where if you want to take a screenshot, you can just double tap on the back and boom, there's a screenshot. And that's super useful. That's super useful. I mean, if you're browsing the web, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you come across some information or whatever. Usually it's just like, 3 fingers swipe down, or, you put 3 fingers on the display right there and you'll take it. That's cool. But it's like, you don't even have to raise another hand other than the hand that you're holding the phone is. You simply tap, tap, boom, you take a screenshot. Okay. Are you sleazeballs out there that are out there living double lives? You know what I'm saying? You got your wife at home, but you got your little side piece. Hey, this phone, it has flip to right? So if you turn the phone on his face, boom, it's in airplane mode. You know what I'm saying? Now look, fellas, ladies, if you're on the creep, I'm gonna help you out, right? Because it's not natural for people to just have their phone sitting on the face. And so it's typical. If you see your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other or whatever the situation may be, and they got their phone sitting on his face like this, it's natural. You're going to be like, okay, why is your phone face down like that? What you hiding, bruh? Or what you hiding, girl? You know what I'm talking about? It's going to raise some suspicion. But look, what you tell them is, because this phone is so beautiful cosmetically, you can just be like, look, baby, hey, look, I'm just appreciating the aesthetics. I mean, look at this thing. Right? Look at how beautiful this thing is. Look at that camera hump and just the camera, the cosmetics of the camera, just how different it is. I'm just appreciating, you know what I'm saying, the beauty and the craftsmanship that went into this. You know what I'm saying? And they'll look over and just be like, damn, that is pretty. Some people may think this looks weird. They may not like it. But hey, I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So you do got that flip to feature. And you'll feel a little vibration, when you turn it on his face like this. When you pick it back up, you'll feel it vibrate again, indicating that it's off of do not disturb mode or airplane mode or whatever mode it goes into. Yeah, it goes into D&D, do not disturb, when you put it on its face. Okay, and then as soon as you pick it back up, you'll feel a vibration, which indicates that do not disturb is turned off. And, you got action. You're going to receive all your phone calls and notifications and so forth. All right, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I'm missing? Because this phone just really, it packs a lot. It has a lot. Oh yes. Let me talk about this real quick, because there's a lot of people talking a lot about the fingerprint sensor. Okay, now here's what I'll say about that. The fingerprint sensor is not the fastest. Okay, it's not. It's not the fastest fingerprint sensor that's out there. It's not OnePlus fast. It's not Xiaomi fast. Hell, it's not even Samsung fast. And I say that because Samsung, with the S21 series, their under the display fingerprint sensor got a whole lot better. Right? It got a whole lot better. This fingerprint sensor, it works. It's just not as fast. But I think that people are going overboard talking about how bad it is. I mean, what? It takes like 3 seconds as opposed to a half a second? It's like, come on, people. Like, look. What was that? 3 seconds? I mean, come on, really? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds. Okay, it takes 3 seconds. Big deal, right? A lot of people are just, it's mind-blowing the things that people will nitpick and complain and gripe about. And what they do is they start putting all this toxic information out there. Oh man, the fingerprint sensor's trash and blah, blah, blah. And then rather than getting the device in your hand and trying it for themselves, people actually listen to these influencers, not reviewers, but influencers. And then a lot of people won't give a device an opportunity that really is deserving of an opportunity just because they heard somebody slamming the doggone fingerprint sensor. Now, to me, that's asinine. But you got a lot of people out there that are like that. So I'm going to just say this to you. Get the phone in your own hand and try it out for yourself. You know, it's okay to have your favorite reviewers out there and you trust their word or whatnot. But it's like, in order to fully determine what you're going to like versus what you're not going to like, get the device in your hand yourself and play with it. Test it. Because what somebody else may be having an issue with, you may not have the same issue with that device. And you may actually have the opposite of an experience. Like I could be having a bad experience with the fingerprint sensor, but that don't mean that you're going to have a bad experience. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, get these devices in your hands. Now, one thing I have noticed, I feel like I've noticed that on the Pixel 6, the fingerprint sensor is just a tad bit faster, like 1, 2. See, that one's 2 seconds. This is 3 seconds. Okay? Not a big deal. 1, 2, boom. And it just pops right into it. So I noticed this is 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Now again, look at this, just that whole theme. This is the Pixel 6, right? And this is the sort of seafoam color. So, you know, got the little green up at the top, faded down into like that little lighter green, you know. So I got some green wallpapers. Now you notice the clock is green. The apps are green. When I scroll down to my notifications, you know, the icons, you know, are green, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, it's stuff like that. It's just little things like that that this phone is housing. And you know, maybe we'll see stuff like that, you know, as more phones get Android 12. I mean, I'm just like, okay, well, is that an Android 12 feature? Or is that something that Google just exclusively did for the Pixels? I don't know. Like I said, I'm waiting for my wife to get home. You know, she's got an S21. You know, she got the Android 12 update earlier today. So I'm waiting for her to get home so I can look at that and see how that looks. Because she said that it made her device change a lot the way it looks. So, you know, we're going to see if it looks like the Pixel or if, you know, it just has its own distinct look. We'll see, you know. But yeah, you know, anybody that is looking to get this device, I'm just gonna say this, you know, for some people, $899 may be a stretch, and that's still pretty expensive. Definitely flagship pricing territory. With this particular model for the 128 gig, like I said, $950 because this is the sub 6 and the 5 millimeter or the millimeter wave 5G variant. That's a pretty penny. Okay. You got to look at what the main differences are between the 6 Pro here and the 6. Okay, because this phone, the Pixel 6, is $599. Okay, $600. It's got the same internal specs, the same Tensor chip. This has 8 gigs of RAM. This has 12 gigs of RAM. This has an 8 megapixel selfie camera. This has an 11.1 megapixel selfie camera. This doesn't have the 48 megapixel telephoto lens. This does have the 48 megapixel telephoto lens, but the main primary 50 megapixel sensor is on both of these. The 12 megapixel 114 degree wide lens is on both of these. I mean, you know, the Pixel 6 Pro has got a little bit of a bigger battery. It's got a 503 milliamp hour battery versus on the Pixel 6 here, we've got a 4,614 milliamp hour battery. Not too big of a difference. But I mean, you know, you are getting a little bit of a bigger battery with the Pro over the Pixel 6. Again, you've got a Quad HD display here on the Pro versus a Full HD AMOLED, a Full HD Plus AMOLED display. On here you got 120 hertz. On here you got 90 hertz. I mean, I don't, I mean, here you're getting different color variations with the Pixel 6. I mean, so with the Pro, you got cloudy white, sort of sunny, and stormy black. The colors that you get for the Pixel 6 is sort of seafoam, which is what that is. And if you don't know what that is, it's just like this two-tone green color. Okay, you got sort of seafoam, kind of coral, which is like a light orangish color, like a coral. You know what I'm saying? And then stormy black. So you get different color combinations, with the 6 versus the 6 Pro. But like I said, these are the 128 gig variants of both of these devices. This is $899. This is $599. With the things that I just mentioned, that this has over this, you have to think to yourself, is this $300 better than this? That's the question of the day. These are two excellent devices. Excellent, bar none. Right? Some of the best Android experience that's out right now. Okay? But I mean, I'll say this. Only get the Pro if you just really feel as though you need a Quad HD display over a Full HD, because this is a Full HD Plus panel. Okay? Super beautiful. It's an AMOLED display. Beautiful display. But again, this display is Quad HD, so it's going to be just a little bit crispier. Okay? If you need that additional crispness, if you absolutely need that 48 megapixel telephoto lens, if you absolutely need just that slightly bigger battery, if you want the waterfall display to bleed over the left and the right sides of the device as opposed to a flat display, then, pretty much everything else is similar. They got wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. They both are IP68 water dust resistant. They both got super killer dual stereo speakers that sound amazing. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times when there's two devices, there's like significant drops between the Pro version and the regular version. I can't, to me in my mind, I can't say that additional $300 is justified, because like I said, you're getting a Quad HD display, you're getting an 11 megapixel selfie camera over an 8 megapixel, you're getting the 48 megapixel telephoto sensor. You're not getting that here. You're getting a little bit of a bigger battery here. That's it. To me, that is not worth $300 more. So what I'm saying is, if you absolutely positively need the Pro, then get the Pro, because it is a damn good device. But the Pixel 6 is the same device. It's the same device with 8 gigs of RAM rather than 12. With an 8 megapixel selfie camera rather than an 11.1 megapixel camera. Like I said, on the rear, you got the two main, you got your 50 megapixel primary sensor and your 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Do you really need that telephoto lens? Okay? On the Pro here, you get 4 times optical zoom. Let me see. On the Pixel 6, I got my little cheat sheet up here. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm naming off all the differences. I thought this had the Pixel 6 had optical zoom as well, but I'm not seeing that. I could have swore I listed that, but maybe not. I know it has. It's just not. Maybe it's like a 2-time optical zoom or something like that. Or 2-time zoom. But whatever. If you're not, there's a lot of people that are just point and shoot like I am. Like, a lot of times I'll test out the telephoto lenses in a phone just because it has that feature. But a lot of times I don't use that. I'm more of just the main, with the main camera, and hey, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, and stay tuned. I'm gonna have a separate video for the Pixel 6. Like I said, I just got this a few days ago, so I'm in the process of testing that. I've been rocking with the Pixel 6 Pro since day one, and I'm loving it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to end this video. Hang on, London. So yeah, if you like this video, you already know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. And keep it locked here at Pristine Mobile Tech, because I'm going to have so many more devices. The end of the year is coming up. You know, like I said, I've got my full Pristine review coming for the 13 Pro here, the iPhone 13 Pro. I'm going to have the full Pristine review coming for the Pixel 6 here. The full Pristine review coming for the Moto Edge 2021. The full Pristine review and camera reviews coming for the Microsoft Surface Duo 2, which I think is the best, bar none, the best folding device that there is in the market right now. And then, you know what? We may even have a little bit of fun, man. We may even have a little bit of fun. I may just do a video on this. This, ladies and gentlemen, real quick. So apparently in my AT&T system, it said that I had a 3G device. And they're getting ready to shut down their 3G network. So what they're doing is they're sending all AT&T customers that is listed on the system that it has a 3D device, a 3G device, it's sending out a 4G replacement for free, no charge. And so I got this package the other day. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, did they make a mistake at AT&T? They sent me another phone. And so what they sent was, this is the AT&T Calypso. This is a 16 gigabyte Chameleon Blue Android 10. So yeah, I'm just doing, you know, let me see this thing here. I'm just for the sake of some fun. Let me just do a little unboxing on the little Calypso here. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa.
Whoa, London. Look at that. Ain't that, is that beautiful or what? Now look at this, and then look at this. I mean, I know they can't even be put in the same category, man, and say they ain't nowhere in the same league, but I mean, hey, that blue is kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? The AT&T Calypso. So this is apparently a 4G device. And I went to my AT&T store earlier today, and I was like, what is this? Was this a mistake? And they were like, no. It's like, you know, it's showing in the system that you have a 3G device, and so this is just a 4G replacement because they're shutting down their 3G network. And the cool part about it is I don't even have a 3G phone. I was like, what? I got the Surface Duo, the first generation, which is a 4G phone, and this, you know, my Pixel 6 Pro, which is a 5G device. And so I'm like, hey, well, a free phone, whatever. I use it for a backup, you know. So, you know, for fun's sake, you know, we may just turn on the Calypso and really, you know, see what that's about. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to bend your ear on my overall thoughts of the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Like I said, hit that thumbs up button if you like it. Share the video, subscribe to the channel to support. You know, my end goal by the end of the year is to hit that 10K mark. I'm just shy of 10,000 subs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, man, if you guys can smash that, you know, smash that thumbs up button, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that would be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Shout out, you know what I'm saying, I mean, to the business partnerships that I've been doing lately. You know, I got some different products that are going to be coming in, so you guys are going to be seeing me switch it up a little bit. I'm going to be reviewing like different things that I got coming in, and so, you know, just really trying to, you know, get this thing popping off and taking it to the next level, man. So, you know, again, thanks for all your support. Thanks for, you know, letting me bend your ear. And, you know, go ahead and enjoy the still shot imagery, the videography, or the videos that I took. And, you know, I always drop a little musical heaven for your ears while that content is playing. So I hope you guys enjoy the music of choice. And you already know, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one. So please stay safe, get spiritually fit. And what? And what? And what? You already know, man. Keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. Oh, real quick. I gotta say this. I'm not trying to get all political and emotional and this and that. As a black man in America, I have felt the effects of a lot of the things that seem to go on in our culture. From, you know, oppression, marginalization, discrimination, profiling, like all those things. I've been through all those things. I'm a living testimony to have come through a lot of those things. And it's really sad to see a lot, just this inability to break these genocidal curses in our black communities. You know, just people are dying senseless deaths over nonsense. There just doesn't really seem to be any value of life anymore. You got all these people running around playing God. You know, I mean, God created and gave life. You know, no matter what anybody did or said, you know, what makes you feel as though you have the right to take someone else's life. Rest in peace to young Dolph. You know, it's a sad thing because in no other music genre, no other, ain't nobody getting shot and killed in pop music, in country music, in Latin music, in gospel music, and you know, all these different genres, in reggae music, in techno music, or just whatever kind of, all these different genres of music. Brothers are not getting killed to the capacity that they are, like they are in the rap business. This stuff has got to stop, man. Young Dolph, man, that man had a beautiful family, kids, and I don't know what he did that may have led up to it. I mean, there's a lot of things, speculation going around. It could have been haters. It could have been, you know, some cats that he had previous beefs with. Who knows? But it's like, was it really worth that man's life? You know? Was it really worth that man's life? And it's like, y'all, we got to clean that up, man, because we got bigger fish to fry as far as just how this society treats, you know, minorities, especially black people. You know what I'm saying? We got little idiots like Kyle Rittenhouse getting off on all charges. 17 years old, across state lines with a long gun, AR-15, that he wasn't even registered or it wasn't even legal for him to have. Killed 2 people, shot a third, trying to protect property that people didn't even ask him to come down there and protect. While the reason why that whole protest was going on because the police shot a black man in the back 7 times who was trying to break up a fight, and the police got to the scene and thought that he was a part of the incident and shot him in the back 7 times. That's the whole reason why people were marching against police brutality in Kenosha. And then this 17-year-old punk kid, Rittenhouse, comes down there and this man gets off scot-free. Scot-free. And then at the same time, you got the trial going on with Ahmaud Arbery, the young brother who was down in Atlanta, I think it was Atlanta, jogging. And, you know, some people said that he was looking around on a construction site and possibly took something out of a home that was being developed or something like that. And so they chased him down and shot him in the back, point blank range with a damn shotgun. So it's like, and it wouldn't surprise me if they walked too. This is a sick world in which we live in. And I just can't understand how those of us that are believers in Christ know that we were created by God. And at the time that he was creating us, he didn't create us, no matter what our race, nation, color, creed is. He didn't create us for us to have all this superiority, inferiority, this hierarchy, this control. You know, he wants us to be equal across the board, no matter what our race, nation, color, creed is. Equal opportunity should be across the board, but it's not. And we know who most of the opportunity favors. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of times at the end of my videos, I witness to you guys about Christ. You know, I'm a living testimony because a lot of people, I was a knucklehead back in the day, and a lot of people never would have thought that I would be sitting where I'm sitting right now. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I'm sitting where I'm sitting right now is because of the grace of God. And all praise and glory be to him. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, man, given the times that we're living in, given all this stuff that's going on, there's definitely a spiritual warfare going on. Some of the stuff is just as plain as day. Other stuff is going on without our knowledge. I know what's going on, and I'm not saying this to scare you. But it's like, in order to be able to move through this life with no fear, get spiritually fit. Because there's a lot of things out here that are going on that are very terrifying. You got all these mass shootings going on. There's shootings going on every day. Shootings out in the streets, officer-involved shootings, so much gun violence, people dying left and right, dropping like flies. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so if death were to creep around some unsuspecting corner, where's your soul going to rest for eternity? Stop putting off getting spiritually fit until tomorrow, because you may not even make it through the night. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace. What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine. All right, so here we got the primary sensor for the Google Pixel 6 Pro down here at Redondo Beach, and I thought I was going to take a walk on the dock here, but apparently things are gated off. Danger, unsafe. Please stay off fishing pier. Pier is closed for structural reasons. Closed for structural reasons. Okay, well, that is understandable, because that would suck to be walking on this and this joint just crumble out from underneath you. Ooh, that would not be cool. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm going to turn around and go this way. You know what I'm saying? And man, you see right there, Merry Christmas. Yeah, the holiday season is definitely upon us, ladies and gentlemen. So here we've got a 50 megapixel primary sensor. We've got a 48 megapixel telephoto lens. And we've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor if you're trying to get more in the frame. All right, now, the difference between the Pixel 6 Pro versus the Pixel 6 is the Pixel 6, it's not going to offer you that 48 megapixel telephoto lens. And on the front of the Pixel 6, it's got an 8 megapixel sensor as opposed to the 11.1 megapixel sensor that we find here on the Pixel 6 Pro. So those, ladies and gentlemen, are the main camera differences between both devices. But nonetheless, I mean, a pixel is a pixel. So, I mean, does it really matter whether or not you've got that 48 megapixel telephoto lens? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? It's not really a big deal to me. As long as I got that 50 megapixel primary and that 12 megapixel ultra wide, that for me, ladies and gentlemen, is what's most important, okay? Now, let's go 4 times optical zoom. Actually, that's 2 times. So 4 times we have the ability to get super close up on subjects from being at a great distance away. Now here's 2 times. There's standard. And then here is the ultra wide. And I believe the ultra wide is 114 degree field of view, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So here's that 4 time. Here's the 2 time. As you can see, we got boaters out there doing a little fishing. Okay. 2 time. Standard. And then ultra wide. All right. Now let's go back to the standard. Do a little walking around here, because this optical image stabilization is greatly increased. Now it appears as though I've got this phone hooked up to a gimbal of some sort, but I'm just walking. I'm just strolling, ladies and gentlemen. Think I'm lying? See my feet? I'm just strolling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm walking regularly. I'm not walking with that typical pimp bop, you know what I'm saying, that I typically mob with, you know what I'm saying? I'm just walking regularly. Actually, here, let me get my little bop on, man. Hold up. You can see, even with the pimp step, you know what I'm saying? That optical image stabilization is on point. There's not going to be any kind of shakiness at all whatsoever with this camera. It looks just like it's on a gimbal of some sort of contraption that stabilizes it. That proves that's a testimony to how well the optical image stabilization has been improved on the Pixel devices. Now, I thought it was good before, but I mean, you know, the Pixel's main competitor, iPhone, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, you know, if you want to get on iPhone status, then yeah, there was some things that they were going to have to improve. You know, we got some new sensors here on the Pixel 6. We haven't seen that in a while. We got the improved optical image stabilization. We do have electronic image stabilization on board as well. And yeah, I mean, we just have the complete package here on the Pixel 6 Pro. 4K recording, all that at I believe 30 or 60 frames FPS. Okay. So let's see. Let's go ahead and see what we can zoom in on. Wow. See that? It gets really, really close. Yeah. Back to the standard. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the rear camera system on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. All right. All right, YouTube family. So this is the 11.1 megapixel sensor on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. And I mean, as you can see, the image quality is super on point, super sharp. Little dark because I'm sitting in the car. You know, I've got this limousine tint. I think it's like 10% all the way around. It's not a legal tint, which is how I prefer it, because I like to be able to see you, but you can't see me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so let's go ahead and get out of the ham sandwich. And wow. So this is what your selfies are going to look like, or the selfie video at least. We do have 4K recording on this joint in the front. Get down here at the beach, gloomy day. It's been doing a lot of raining here in Seattle, but that's typically what it does in the fall and winter months, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I like it. Fall is my favorite time of year, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I like this. I like the grayness and the gloominess. Real chill, laid back. I feel like it just fits my personality, you know what I'm saying? So man, yeah, you guys tell me, what's it looking like? Let me go ahead and stroll for a minute so you can, you know, get that optical image stabilization on the front camera as well, you know? And so yeah, this is one of the differences between the Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 has an 8 megapixel sensor versus the 11.1 megapixel sensor that is here on the Pixel 6 Pro, okay? Like I said, another difference too, on the rear, we've got that 48 megapixel telephoto lens. You're not gonna find that on the Pixel 6, okay? The Pixel 6 does have that 50 millimeter primary sensor and the 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, but it's lacking the 48 megapixel telephoto lens, okay? So those are the camera differences between the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. What's it look like to you, ladies and gents? Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. All right. You already know, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click that notification bell so that every time my videos drop and go live, you can get notified. And get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about the footage that you're seeing here. And, you know, I'm open to any questions, comments, or feedback that you guys may have. All right, so you already know, please stay safe, get spiritually fit if you haven't already, because we definitely living in them last days, baby. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the still shot images that I'm about to roll and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.